Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Human Services Committee regular meeting for July. This agenda was posted in the office of the county clerk on the 16th day of July, 2026. Notice was sent to the West Bend Daily News, Express News, WIBD, WMBZ Radio, WTKM Radio, My Community Now, Hartford Times Press, Kewaskum Statesman, and the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. As you look at the agenda this morning, some of our committee members may have been, or this afternoon, excuse me, I used to have meetings in the morning, so I'm still kind of in that thought process. Some of you may have been expecting a closed session for a walkthrough of the PAC building. There was some concern that that might not have been acceptable with regard to public access, and so we're rethinking that. And if anyone does want to set up a separate meeting with the Chief of Health and Human Services Officer, Julie Driscoll, you may certainly do that at any time. Thank you. We'll continue now with a moment of silent prayer and a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our agenda item number 2 is with regard to the minutes of our June 16th meeting. Did anyone notice anything that needs attention? Everyone shaking their heads no, so the minutes will stand as presented. Discussion item 3. 3A is resolution 2026 grant application for Department of Justice TAD program. The TAD stands for Treatment Alternatives and Diversion. And for the background for that, Julie will help us, and I believe Andy Freeman is here as well.
Yes, thank you. That's correct. So we're going to start off tonight doing a brief overview of the TAD and Drug Treatment Court for the benefit of this group. So you know the decision, the program that you're deciding on today. So I'd like to introduce Andy Freeman, who's our diversion program manager, and he's going to go over these programs with you at a very high level. And I'm not sure if the TVs are working. There, perfect. Thank you.
Welcome, Andy.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I will do my best to be brief, but Supervisor Schwab, if time is getting short, please encourage me to move on, and I will certainly do that.
Thank you.
So I'm Andy Freeman. I'm the Diversion Treatment Court Program Manager for Washington County, and they already said what we'll be talking about today. A brief introduction, overview of the programs, program outcomes, and the plan for the 2027 TAD grant application. So first, why do we have diversion programs? Reasons here: they reduce recidivism or crime, they improve the health and welfare of the participants they serve, and they're more cost effective than the traditional criminal justice system in a number of ways, but primarily services in the community are more cost effective when you can provide them safely than incarceration. We have 3 diversion programs. Diversion programs is a broad category: drug treatment court, a drug diversion program, an OWI diversion program. And if there are 2 things I'd like everyone to remember, and I'll demonstrate why these are true, is that these programs are safe and effective. The mission of the Washington County Drug Treatment Court and Diversion Programs is to provide a safe and effective alternative to the traditional criminal justice system for individuals with a substance use disorder. I do want to highlight that these programs directly contribute to Washington County's mission and strategic priorities, in particular, ensuring a safe and secure community and ensuring that residents have access to basic needs. Very importantly, and this goes for all of our programs, they would not be possible if it weren't for interdepartmental and interagency support. All these agencies, county, state, community providers, have worked together on these programs for a decade plus, which is critical to their success and the quality of services that the participants receive. I'll go through this very quickly. Everything is going to come up at once, but I do want to highlight our programs in Washington County started being TAD funded in 2007, which was the first year the state offered the treatment alternatives and diversion grant. So we've been doing this for almost 20 years. And we've continued to expand because the programs are effective. This gives a timeline of that expansion, which again, I'll skip over for now, but if anyone has questions about the timeline, please feel free. Programs, again, already covered. We have 3 programs. Why do we have 3 programs? One, we want to make sure that we can serve the highest percentage of our target population as possible. If the programs are safe and effective, we want to try to capture as many individuals in those programs as possible. We want to make sure that we have programs that are designed to meet the needs of each target population or each group that they serve. And we want to make sure that the program accountability and monitoring matches the risk level of the participants they serve so that the programs are safe. Finally, we want to provide options both at the beginning and end of the criminal justice process, because diversion programs are most effective on the county level when you provide them at multiple points in the criminal justice system. So I go over that here a little bit. Our target population, individuals with a substance use disorder in the criminal justice system. We have programs for individuals with drug offenses and for OWI offenses. We serve individuals with low risk need, moderate, all the way up to high. And here, a very simplistic criminal justice process, just to highlight, our goal is to provide services both pre-sentencing and post-sentencing. This also has a lot of information. I'll give you a moment to read the core components. All the core components are governed by national standards, national best practice, state standards that our programs follow and adhere to, not just because we're grant funded and we have to, but because following these core components results in better outcomes for participants and the community. So similarities and differences. I'm not sure if anyone reviewed any of this before, but like I said, I'll pause just for a few moments. If anyone has any questions about similarities or differences, please let me know. Okay. I do just want to highlight in similarities, exclude violent offenders. All of our programs exclude anyone charged with currently or previously convicted of a violent offense. That is one way that we ensure that individuals that we are diverting from the traditional criminal justice system aren't a danger to the public. Also, all programs have case management, drug testing, evidence-based treatment services, and ancillary or supportive services. So our OWI diversion program, again, serves OWI offenses, low to high risk and need. We have a pre-sentencing option, which is our OWI seconds for individuals with a second OWI offense, and post-sentencing in conjunction with supervision, third OWI. Again, any of the more detailed information, just for time's sake, I won't go through in detail here, but the eligibility criteria are here. And program requirements, the only thing to highlight here is that the second program is shorter, pre-sentencing, 6 months. The OWI third program is longer, 12 months. Part of that length is just by risk of the severity of the offense. Individuals with the third offense have a longer program in conjunction with supervision. For individuals with a primary drug offense, or primary drug of choice, that's a drug of any kind. We have the drug diversion program. That's specifically for low and moderate risk need individuals, and it's pre-sentencing. And drug treatment court is specifically for individuals with high criminogenic risk need. That really means that individuals in drug treatment court have a much more significant criminal history and more severe and or acute mental health substance use related treatment needs. Again, eligibility criteria, I won't go into detail about, but if looking at it, you guys have any questions, please ask. Program requirements, these are, again, I highlighted the differences pre and post sentencing. Drug treatment court, I want to highlight The minimum anyone can complete it if they have 100% compliance is 14 months. It is not a short program. It's quite intensive. And both programs have a minimum requirement for drug testing. Drug treatment court individuals are never tested less than twice a week. Drug treatment court also has what we could probably spend another 30 minutes on in terms of program requirements, which is a phase structure that really breaks down each step in the individual's recovery and the program to match where they're at. So again, our target population, individuals, nonviolent offenders in the criminal justice system, whose substance use is the primary driver of their criminal behavior. That's who we want to target. Our goal is to safely serve as the highest percentage of this population as possible. All programs do have core components that help ensure they are safe and effective. And we design our programs specifically to match each population that they're serving. Outcomes. So when I said they're safe and effective, I want to show you guys that we measure it and we can demonstrate it, not just say it. It's incredibly important to me. So primarily, these programs improve the health and welfare of participants and improve public safety. Quick highlights. So our graduation rates, drug treatment court, drug diversion sitting around 50%. OWI diversion is well above really other diversion programs in the state. That program, we're unique in the way that we offer it in our program design. It's our longest running program, and it's by far our most effective when it comes to graduation rate. Average days sober at discharge, just as a primary measure, the majority of participants aren't required to have this many days sober at discharge. So I highlight this number not only because it's a measure of how stable and the significant accomplishment every participant makes when they graduate the program. For every program, 6 months or more sober. For many of the individuals, that's longer than they've had sober since they started using, which is huge. Diverted jail days. This is a long-standing measure in particular by Department of Justice and or funders as a measure of cost effectiveness. So that number is provided here. And then estimated savings uses a very rough calculation of the number of diverted jail days times the average cost per day of a jail bed divided by the number of years the program's been active, and then subtracting the county cost. So the jail savings only is the number on the left, and the number minus county cost is on the right. Another thing I really like to highlight, because to me, this program is certainly more than jail days diverted or estimated cost savings. I don't think there's a price on children born without neonatal abstinence syndrome. And the majority of individuals, when they start our programs, are starting the programs using daily, if not near daily. Many, if not all, would be at risk of having children born actively addicted or physically dependent on a substance and or experiencing withdrawal symptoms. So the benefit this provides to the participants and the child and their families is huge. So graduation rates, our comparison against the two other bars there in purple are Washington County or Wisconsin comparison groups from 5-year periods. These are from Wisconsin DOJ Treatment Alternative and Diversion statewide reports. I do want to highlight drug treatment court is right where we should be, or right average with other treatment courts. Our drug diversion program, the reason we're below is because our drug diversion program has historically, for the majority of the program up until a few years ago, has served a higher risk and severity population than diversion programs normally do. For the majority of our diversion program, we only targeted felony offenders with an opioid use disorder, which tends to be a higher need population than most other diversion programs in the state. So we have a good idea of why that number is lower than other diversion programs in the state that may serve less serious lower risk or lower need offenders. When we have a sufficient number on both ends, so a sufficient number that has a comparable risk level, I'll separate those for a more accurate comparison. But for now, certainly I still want to include it and talk about it. An OWI diversion, as I said, has a higher graduation rate. Yeah,
Is it okay if I ask a question?
Sure.
Thank you. So what you're saying is for the drug diversion program, the reason why the number, we're about 20% lower than the state is because we're testing, or you're testing felony opioids where a lot of other places, I'm sorry, not testing, but you're allowing those people into the program where most other places are not allowing people of that caliber into the program, because obviously people that are dealing with a felony opioid, there's a high recidivism rate because it's such a powerful drug. Is that correct? Am I correct in saying that?
close.
Okay.
But one real important clarification, I appreciate the question. When we started the opioid diversion program, which is now the drug diversion program, we started it in 2017. We did not yet have a drug treatment court.
Okay.
Yet our systems, in particular, our criminal justice system, if any of you remember back then, those were the years our criminal offenses for opioid related offenses, bail jumpings related for that population. The impact on our county systems was so significant and had been increasing for years. So we started with what we could do with unanimous support at the time. Unfortunately, there wasn't support to start a drug treatment court at the time. That came a few years later. Once we realized we started this program to serve this population, but really we need something more. Which led to some of the support for the development of drug treatment court to really make sure that we're serving low to moderate risk offenders in a diversion program and the high risk, high need individuals in drug treatment court. So it was born out of the need, and we certainly did the best we could. But I really think that starting that way gave all the partners involved the awareness of the importance of having programs that are designed for the needs and risk level of each separate group, which we have done now. Yeah.
Okay. Great, thank you.
As a follow-up question, if we started out focusing on the higher need individuals, are we able to also accept lower need individuals, or do we have the capacity to handle as many cases as we need to, in your opinion?
We certainly do now.
Okay,
We have more than enough capacity. Yes. Our programs have openings, and we would gladly accept additional individuals, in particular of that low to moderate risk range in the drug diversion programs.
thank you. Yes.
Are people with dual diagnosis, mental illness, and substance use disorder exempt from this program, or do you take them as well?
Oh, we absolutely do.
How do you handle the mental illness part?
What do you mean by that?
You have separate treatment for them, their mental illness?
So it would be my hope and goal that any of our treatment providers are able to address both a client's substance use needs and their mental health needs. For individuals that are engaged in a higher level of care, IOP, PHP, that's kind of a dedicated substance use treatment program. Yes, we absolutely do our best to make sure that individuals have access to a dedicated mental health provider so that they're not waiting until the completion of a dedicated substance use program until they receive mental health treatment. But the majority of our providers provide both at the same time and or receive treatment from someone who's duly credentialed that's able to, especially when they get to the outpatient level. We have, especially in drug treatment court, a fairly high percentage of individuals with equally significant co-occurring mental health needs. So that's a huge priority for us.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think that's the first time I've been asked that question, so I appreciate it. I should also say that we also do our best to make sure that our clients have access to psychiatry or prescribing services in conjunction with mental health and any substance use treatment. In terms of recidivism, so recidivism is the likelihood that someone will reoffend within a certain time frame. For the next 3 slides, I'm going to talk about post-discharge, so the likelihood of the group to reoffend within 2 to 3 years post-discharge from the program, which is the gold standard or one of the 2 primary outcomes of whether or not diversion programs are effective. I do want to note for drug treatment court, it's in tiny print on the right-hand side. Right now, because we have a limited number of individuals that have discharged from drug treatment court, a real small number of those have been discharged for 3 years or more, which means for any recidivism, basically these numbers are informational only. It's too early to tell. And without me having a 10-minute further explanation on statistical significance and the number of participants that we need that would bore everyone to death, just know we want to provide this for transparency, not only to county leaders and our program stakeholders, but to the community. We don't want to seem like we're hiding or withholding drug treatment court recidivism information. But I do want to just say these numbers may be too low. They are surprisingly lower in comparison to other Wisconsin diversion or other Wisconsin treatment courts. I would love it if they look this way 6 years from now. That would be phenomenal. It would be a credit to our team and the amazing job they do. But we provide it for transparency and to give us an idea on an ongoing basis of where we're at. The control groups there, the purple are other Wisconsin programs that are similar. So in this case, other Wisconsin treatment courts, and the gray is a control group. So this is a population in the criminal justice system in Wisconsin with similar offenses and criminogenic risk need. You'll see that we're significantly lower. That is exactly where we want to be. If all of our programs could be around this level, that would be absolutely fantastic.
Do you have any speculation as to why our rates might be better than other courts and counties? I'm happy for it. I'm just curious.
Yeah. For drug treatment court, I would say the numbers are still too early to say. For other programs, I honestly, I would love to credit the team, our partners, one primary one being Elevate, Laura from Elevate's here tonight, and our treatment providers and the criminal justice partners in courts that all work together to make the programs effective. But I guess truer answer is I don't really know, because to take a closer look at that, I would need more detailed data from other programs across the state to be able to compare what their programs are doing and what we're doing that might be contributing. I can say that our programs, thanks to our oversight committee and the leaders involved in our programs, are very intentional about aligning with national standards. If national standards say something works, we do our best to implement it in a way that works in our county, because our goal is to have the maximum positive benefit for our participants in the county. I do think we are very serious about that, have been as long as I've been involved in the programs, both now and previously when I was part of them. So I would credit that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mr. Mole.
Yeah, can you explain again? I think I missed it. The difference between the purple bars and the gray bars, what that represents?
Oh, yes, thank you. The purple bars are other Wisconsin programs that are similar. So the slide before for treatment court, it's other Wisconsin treatment courts. For this one diversion program, it's other Wisconsin diversion programs. So this comes from the state DOJ TAD report. It's published every 5 years. They take 5 years of data and they provide summary information. So we have a 3-year recidivism rate for all diversion programs in all treatment courts in Wisconsin. And then we have a control group developed by DOJ because they have access to all that data.
What's the control group comprised of?
So the control group would be a population that did not participate in diversion program. That's a nonviolent offender with offenses that are as close in ratio to, so if they took all the participants admitted to diversion programs in the state of Wisconsin in that 5-year period, along with demographics and other information, they would comprise in whatever fancy way they do, they would comprise a similar group from state court, DOC, et cetera, records that is as similar in demographic, offense, and criminal history as possible.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. I wish I could explain it better, because it's fascinating to me the way they
That's a
develop
fair
that.
explanation, yeah,
Okay.
I understand. Yeah, I was just curious what the relationship was there.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, and so the difference in other Wisconsin diversion programs on this slide and the control population, you'll really see, because for overall, that means into like all of our discharges, which is the first set far on the left, our programs at 29%-ish recidivism. Other Wisconsin diversion programs, 5+ years ago was around 30%. In the most recent report published in 2025, it was 26. So you'll see we're kind of similar to other Wisconsin diversion programs. Our graduates have lower recidivism, which is again great, and what we'd want to see, that individuals that graduate from our program perform similarly or better than graduates of other diversion programs in the state. And all of them perform better than the control group, which also we would want to see. If our graduates in particular ever start performing worse than the control group, and you ever see me present a slide like that, someone stop me and say, Andy, what are we doing? Because I would owe you an answer. This is our OWI diversion program. This one looks a little different because there is no, to my knowledge, there's no Wisconsin dedicated OWI diversion program control group. And the state doesn't yet separate OWI specific diversion program recidivism, which is unfortunate. I've asked for 1.5 years, everyone I can think of, because I would really like to have a dedicated control group that is current. But our OWI diversion program went through 2 recidivism studies previously. I'm going to forget the years off the top of my head, but one I know was 2018. I think it was updated, or 2017, 2018. I believe it was updated 2020, 2021. Individuals that graduate from the OWI diversion program have a 16% recidivism rate for any crime. In comparison, what we did do is develop a Washington County specific control group. So we took OWI offenders in Washington County that did not participate in the program. We tried to match them demographics again as close as possible. They recidivate for any crime at a 35% rate. Most significantly, the likelihood that someone graduating from the OWI diversion program reoffends for another OWI offense within 2 years is 3%. The OWI diversion program's graduation rate and recidivism reduction is phenomenal. I can't overstate that enough. So it's great. This looks really messy. It is just to provide an idea of the treatment access that our different individuals receive. The dark blue is drug treatment court. The teal or aquamarine is drug diversion. The green is OWI diversion. But this is just treatment services across levels of care from the most intensive on the left, which is residential. Well, actually, no, it's spaced out. Outpatient, intensive outpatient, partial. One thing to note here, dark blue, which is drug treatment court, you'll see those numbers add up to well above 100%. That's because most individuals in drug treatment court access multiple different types of treatments, starting from more intensive to least intensive as they go through the program. Another thing to highlight, the mental health specific treatment is almost certainly inaccurate for drug diversion and OWI diversion. We have if any of you have ever reported in a state system, you'll know how user-friendly and efficient they are, which, yes, thank you for the chuckle, is a joke. We have been very, very diligent about accurately tracking mental health specific treatment for our drug treatment court clients. The accuracy and reliability of that is just transparently less so for the other two programs. And here, I didn't want to cherry pick the last 3 years when we've been more diligent about it. I wanted to provide all the information or for total program participation. So this is just reflecting that for a long time, we weren't as diligent about tracking mental health specific treatment as we could have been. We are now, and we always have been for drug treatment court. So that's why those numbers are that way. But this is really to represent that we, one graph to represent that we do our best to help ensure all of our clients have access to the treatment services that they need. And we really do want to see a little bit of that dispersion among levels of care, in particular among drug treatment court. This, when I talk about improving access to basic needs, the next 3 slides are, to me, by far the most important. This highlights in blue client status in each domain at admission versus their status at discharge. Do they have a driver's license? Are they employed part-time, full-time, or in some capacity? Do they have independent living, meaning they rent or own their own living situation, apartment, home, etc.? Do they report their living situation as safe? Are they financially stable, meaning can their finances meet their basic needs? And do they have health insurance? You will see the change for individuals, admission to discharge in drug treatment court. For graduates, again, is staggering. This is also a true representation of the psychosocial stability or social determinants of health of our drug treatment court participants at admission, which you'll see varies significantly compared to the other 2 programs. Drug diversion program, again, you'll see they start off the program. Many of them have a much greater degree of stability in these domains, but there's still improvement. And the same for the OWI diversion population. So outcomes, again, we really do our best, and participants do receive, for the most part, the necessary treatment and supportive services. I didn't cover all of our supportive and ancillary services here because of limited time, but we provide services so that our participants can improve their quality of life. Graduates are conclusively, I can say conclusively with statistical significance for our drug diversion program and the OWI diversion program, they reduce crime. They're the only programs I'm aware of in our county or across the state that are shown and proven to reduce crime. That's important. Also, as just shown, graduates, program participants improve on social determinants of health in a number of categories, which is, we don't just want to, we want to reduce crime. That's fantastic. If we reduce crime and our participants suffer, we're kind of just setting them up for not a great quality of life after. We want to do both. We want to improve quality of life and reduce crime. Our programs do both. So 2027 plan. Drug treatment court is currently funded by a federal grant through the Bureau of Justice Assistance. That ends next year in September. We will be able to extend that through December of next year. The drug diversion program is currently funded primarily 100% by the Wisconsin TAD grant. That's the one we'll be applying for. That one has a competitive application every 5 years, which is this year for funding to start 1/1/27. And OWI diversion program is currently funded by Washington County. The TAD grant, what we expect if our funding remains the same, is a total award of 266,000. State portion of that 200, our county match 66 and change. Our plan is to utilize those funds primarily to cover 100% of the continued operation of the drug diversion program, and use additional amount of that funding to cover approximately 10% of drug treatment court. That's primarily because we have to submit a budget to the state for next year, not the next 5 years, and we still have federal funding for next year. Again, federal funding ends at the end of next year, at which point we'll have to develop a new budget. And there is a significant portion of drug treatment court we will be looking for additional funding opportunities for between now and the end of next year. This gives a brief breakdown of the budget. The contractor, you'll see the majority of funds for both programs are to a contractor. Our primary community partner and contracted provider for all treatment court and diversion programs is Elevate. They have been since 2015, and they're phenomenal. So you'll see the significant portion of funding goes to them for staff, staff benefits, and then all the supplies, operational expenses to operate those programs. And in conclusion, which I already covered, programs reduce crime, make people better. It's a win-win. The more the programs are utilized, I really do believe in them. The more they're utilized, the more the community and its residents will benefit. Our goal is to continue providing these programs, and we ask for your support in our TAD grant application and the continued operation of the programs.
Thank you for your presentation. Very thought-provoking, very thorough. Certainly appreciate it. Having heard the benefits to our community, is there an appetite to recommend approval of the resolution as presented in the packet? We have a motion from Supervisor Stewart. Do we have a second? Everybody wants to second. I saw Ann's hand first. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Are there any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to the next item, item 3B, resolution 2026 economic support of QC position. And this is kind of a follow-up, but I'll let Director Driscoll explain that.
Yes, thank you. So as you guys do recall, last month, our division manager, Renee Zagel, came and presented to you, and for some of you a second time from last session, around our current status of our economic support program and some of the federal requirements. And so this is the next step in that process by which we are requesting to create and fill that quality control lead position, utilizing the state funds that we will be receiving in our consortium contract. So I'm not going to go into great detail. The committee report is before you, and you received that presentation last month. And so I'll just take any questions you might have.
Are there any questions from the committee? If not, we would entertain a motion to approve the recommendation. Supervisor Bailey, is there a second? Supervisor Moll, thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Are there any opposed? That motion carries. Thank you. And then item 3C, Health and Human Services Building Project Update. Again, Julie?
Yes. So again, there's a committee report before you. This is a similar report. Well, I shouldn't say similar, a condensed report of what was presented to the building committee a few weeks ago now. Supervisor Schwab can help me fill in any details that I don't recall. But essentially, I'm just wanting to give you an update on where we stand with that project. We currently are working with the architect on the space needs analysis. That is a very intensive process that we're going through to identify how many offices and square footage and where do people sit and who needs to be next to who and who can be on the first floor and who can be on the second floor and and how many bathrooms do you need and all of those types of things. And essentially that space need analysis will get us the footprint of the building and lead us to essentially the cost of the building. In alignment with that or alongside that, we are pursuing other options so that we can make sure that we're putting all of our options on the table. Those include looking at outside buildings within the county that possibly could be remodeled. It also includes a public-private partnership. There's currently a letter of information request out there that's due at the end of this month. Determine if there's any private partners who want to work with us on something different. And then we also are pursuing some possible public partnerships with nonprofits in our community. And so this was presented to the building committee. They asked a lot of questions. You're welcome to go and watch that committee meeting if you so wish. But we just wanted to make sure that this committee was just given a high level overview of where we stand in the process and answer any questions you might have of where we stand today.
Thank you. And again, it is somewhat premature to ask very detailed questions. Really, the purpose for bringing it to this committee today is to inform everyone that work is underway, that it is progressing appropriately, and Julie and her team are doing a lot of work on it.
Mhm.
Yes, sir.
I just want to add, I had the pleasure of touring the building 10 days ago. Sandy, deputy director, gave me a tour. Very knowledgeable. She's been there a long time. And the staff that I spoke with there and hearing their concerns and clearly seeing that a new building is needed. There's offices that couldn't be used because of water issues. But seeing how well the staff and your team adapted to that building is, I commend you and your whole team on a job well done, because adapting to that building was not easy for all the services that you're providing for our county. So good job.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you for sharing those comments. I believe we've reached the end of our agenda. Our next meeting will be August 18th, 2026 at 4:30 p.m. Thank you for your attendance. Thank you for your pre-work and attention.